Hey, I'm Shekhinah and you're listening to Two Broke Twimbos.
We ain't got it. Broke, five broke. We ain't got it. Don't spend no money, ain't got no clothes, ain't got no cars, ain't got no hoes. We broke.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We're now listening. 1, 2, broke. We ain't got it.
Testicles. Yes, welcome back to Two Broke Twimbos. It's your boy Phil Chard, aka Flip Floss, the big boss baby, aka Pizza P, aka Sexington Glovu, aka the problematic punts, and of course Shamari the Tengero drink. Not forgetting DJ Mkarad. I'm reporting to you live from the streets of Johannesburg. As you can hear, my co-host Dan is nowhere to be found or heard. Turns out Dan has gone camping. I was as shocked as you guys. I didn't know people of our skin tone went camping willingly. But apparently he's out in the bush, doing Lord knows what, taking dumps in the bush, wiping his ass with leaves and other such shrubbery. Rumor has it is he owes his landlord money and he's on the run. But you know, we cannot confirm or deny these statements until we hear from Dan. So up until then, you guys are stuck with me and me alone. It's gonna be fun. Yeah guys, so we got a crazy episode for you guys this week. Once again, we've got the quality content. First up, I have a short interview that I did with Shekhinah, the South African songstress and also MTV award winner. We just got into a brief discussion about her career, her studies, her linking up with the wolf pack, and she's really a great person, man. She's really a great person. So we got a short interview with her, and then just after that you shall come back here and I'll introduce our other interview with also a very big act that was around recently. So without further ado, let's get straight into that Shekhinah interview.
We broke.
It's your boy Phil Chard out here in Joburg. I've got a very talented artist, singer, songwriter, making big waves, not only in Durban with the Wolfpack out here, now continentally. She got a massive hit with Black Coffee. Before I butcher your name, because I've seen it heard and I've seen it spelled 1,000 different ways.
Yeah.
Would you give us the from the horse's mouth?
It's
how it's pronounced?
Shekhinah, not Shekhinah. I'm good, Phil, I'm good.
It's good to meet you, man.
Thank you.
I've been a fan from afar, like especially the stuff you guys have been doing with Wolfpack.
Thank you.
So tell us, how did that all come about? Like, how did you link up with those guys in Sketchy Bongo and Neon Wolf?
I linked up with Kyle. I knew Kyle from this thing that we did, and then we were making music since 2011. Mm-hmm. You know, we were always writing together. 2012, he met everyone else. He met Sketchy A1, and then one of the days he invited me over, and he's like, "Come to studio. I have a dope producer. You know, let's make something." So I went there, and the day that I went there, I was with them. I was a part of their little squad. We made music together. From that day, always, every time I'm in Durban, I'm there making music at Sketchy Studio. So Kyle brought me to them. Kyle showed me them. He introduced me to him. Yeah.
Okay. And based off that, when was your first taste of quote-unquote success?
Quote-unquote success. My first taste of quote-unquote success was, I think it was the song being signed to Universal. For me, that was like, wow. Where I come from, we can't even talk to Universal, you know. As an upcoming artist, it's hard to get a meeting with a label, to even, you know, say anything to a label. But they heard the song and they jumped on it, and I knew that once that song was in their possession, it was going to do well, you know, and it did. You know, Universal put it on, and it was booming, you know. So for me, that felt like, wow, you know, the success. I know people at the label Universal emails me. I have a rapport with them. not everything else. That for me was a big deal.
So just to clarify, which song was that?
This was Back to the Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did with Sketchy and with anyone on radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since then, obviously, we've seen the massive popularity. You've just signed to Ultra as well, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, let you know, the song got signed, just like Back to the Beach, the song is licensed. So the song got signed to Ultra overseas, and that's huge, and that's great, yeah.
So you as an artist
So
unsigned,
me as an artist, I'm unsigned.
Okay. So have Ultra expressed interest in signing future tracks? Or signing you as an artist as a whole?
Not really, Not really, but what I've noticed about those people is that they're all on communication. All the big labels in the States, not that I know anything like really, but they all know my music. They're not really interested in me yet, and I understand. So it's my challenge to make them interested in me. I guess I haven't given them much to be interested in, I feel, so once I'm ready to be like, this is my stuff, I know that I could have the conversation with them at least.
Okay. With that being said, any plans to drop a full project of
Next year. I've been working on it obviously for the longest of time. It's just about how, when, why, make sure it does the best it can. It has to do the best it can. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, so I'm just being patient about it, I guess. I'm not going to rush it out before December so that it's, for sale for Christmas. But I'm going to make sure it's ready and that it's dope and that it's memorable and that one day my kids can be proud of the dope music I made. Yeah.
How would you describe your sound?
I like to describe it as like R&B pop. I think that's like a little bit of a like R&B pop, and it's very soulful, but it's repetitive, and it's got all the elements that make a pop song. All the little nitty-gritty things that make a pop single. It's got all of that, and my influences are R&B, so I kind of put that together, so it's like R&B soul pop. I don't know if that works or if anyone's gonna say something, but R&B soul pop.
Yeah, your sound is what you say your sound is. No one's gonna say like, no, it's not.
But I feel like people might be like, you're not, you're this, but someone did say that to me the other day. They're like, you're for the white crowd, bro. And I'm like, what? Really? I didn't know. I was for any crowd. I thought I was this. But yeah.
Okay. Speaking of, when you do events, because now you've got some popularity, you're getting booked quite a bit.
Yeah.
What do you notice the demographic of your audience is?
The demographic is always mixed. I'm the one with the problem backstage when I'm like, damn, what am I going to do for this audience? I'm always challenged, because I have like a soul intro, and then I go into a hip hop cover, I do a Nicki Minaj cover, like it's the same set, just for comfortable sake, So for me, the challenge is the audience. I get there, and for me, I just have to try and convince them that this is what you like, even though before they were listening to house and everyone was, getting down, I have to convince them that like, no, now we're going to move like this now, it's difficult, dude, and I can tell when I'm comfortable, I performed at Brown Beach Party, and I could tell that was my audience because they were okay with me being me, and you can tell that they'll dance to house, trap. So anything that plays, the audience will dance. That's the type of audience I hope to always have,
Right. Well, we've been told to end it.
Okay.
Really appreciate it.
Cut it.
What we'll do is try to schedule a long interview.
Yeah, we will.
You told me a lot of interesting stories about your background.
Thank you. Please do.
We broke.
Yes. That was me chit-chatting, hobnobbing, and just generally annoying Shekhinah. See, I had to learn how to pronounce her name. I might be getting it wrong again, but yeah, she told me I really should pay attention when people tell me things. Next time. Anyway, guys, we shall not get into our interview with a man who's done amazing things. None other than Mohombi, born in DRC, moved to Sweden, then LA, and then basically did a lot of big things in this music industry, man. I learned so much during this interview. Once again, it was a little short because our time was limited, but he had an incredible story, and I'm going to link up with him again soon. But wow, I was so impressed, man. The things he's accomplished in his career, from building his own label, selling 500,000 CDs independently with his brother while they were still teenagers, having a massive sold out show in Congo that they sponsored themselves, moving to LA, writing for all these artists like Nicki Minaj, Pitbull, Jennifer Lopez. I mean, the man has done big things, man. The man has done big things, and I was very, very happy. It was such an inspiring interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, I so inspired, fam. So yeah, without further ado, let's cross over to my chit chat with my homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be crazy, son. Word.
Yo, what up, everybody? This is your boy Mohombi, and you're listening to Two Broke Twimbos. Stay tuned. More hits coming. Lumino in the building. Africa unite.
Hey, this is your boy Lumino. You know when we say ha toleka ma, and you're listening to Two Broke Twimbos.
We broke.
Yes, y'all. Welcome back. It's another episode of Two Broke Twimbos. I'm still out here in Johannesburg. Yes, Home Affairs has not deported me as yet, and I've managed to rope in a superstar. I mean, this guy has hits upon hits, songwriting credits, an academic of music, if I can say so myself, a world traveler, multinational, none other than my man Mohombi.
Wow, thank you. What a nice introduction. Thank you, brother.
No, that's what we do. We try to sell dreams,
Yeah.
and then at least now you like me. So the whole premise of Two Broke Twimbos is we're two very broke individuals. So we're trying to like use artists to help us up. You know what I mean? If it's a cameo in a video, if we can just hop on a song and do an ad lib like, yo, what's up?
Exactly.
That's what we need. Just get our Twitter followers up.
I definitely agree, and the fact that you mentioned dream, it's like a key word, because we need to allow ourselves to dream, and especially as Africans, like we often follow what the American dream is, but what about the African dream? How does that look? What is a successful African? So definitely, man, thank you for this chat. I feel like we're gonna have some interesting conversation, and I'm just happy to shout out to all my beautiful people of Zimbabwe.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, the podcast is very global. We've won several awards, just so you know. And we now have an expanded listener base. We now have 3 listeners in South Africa, so we're very proud about that.
Oh wow!
Only 2 of them are relatives, so we're growing. We're growing at a frantic pace. So let's start at the beginning. Mohombi, you were born in Congo.
Mm-hmm.
Around this is 1986.
Yes.
So what is the situation like back then in Congo? Because in the news they always portray a certain what we might say situation in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like as you were growing up then? How long did you spend in Congo before you left for Sweden?
Well, I'm just a regular, ordinary African from DRC, Congo, Kinshasa.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a family of 15 children.
Jeez, what?
Yeah. So
Same mom, same dad?
No, how it could be. Some,
Oh, yeah.
extended, but still under the same roof, sharing love. That sense of unity.
Yeah.
I was born in unity, and it's definitely one of my number one mottos. Africa unite. Growing up as I was among the youngest ones, so I had to find my way to get the attention at home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of noise.
Of course.
It's sucking in all the influences from my older brothers and sisters, and from all the way from Bob Marley to Metallica. And so I just kind of naturally and quickly grew into this, took the role of this guy who just loves music, is passionate about music, is singing all the time. And I would get up whenever we would have dinners. I would get up on the dinner table and just sing a couple songs for my first fans. First fan base was the family. And actually still the number one fans are my people, my bloods, who have supported me throughout all these years. So growing up in Kinshasa back then, in Congo overall, because I literally moved to a new. I was in a new school every year.
Really?
Yeah, because my dad was in politics.
Oh, okay.
And which had his work was traveling around the country and stuff. So I know the whole country and stable growing up as in a very liberal family. But hey, this music thing was still frightening for my parents, I need to admit, for sure. They were like, okay, where is this gonna go? So like my other brothers and sisters, I finished my studies. I went through university because I felt that this is something I will probably need one day. And even though I'm in the music business today, I run my own businesses. I have other businesses outside of the music. So I'm really happy that I went through my studies because after all, it's very important.
Okay. And what number of those 15? Where did you stack up on the roster?
I am my mother's youngest. But and then I'm I would say that I'm maybe 12. Overall.
So, but you're mom's last born, so you are the spoiled one.
I'm mama's little baby.
Always the big piece of chicken.
Oh yeah, exactly. And the chicken leg, definitely.
All right. So as you're growing up, what music are you performing for your parents and for your family?
My mom was a big fan of rock and roll and like Elvis Presley and the Beatles, and so I would learn those songs. I remember learning really, like I used to sing, like I have this memory at Christmas, big get together, like the extended family, like all of us, and I did a little rehearsal. I had prepared a little show for the fam, and it was Beatles Yesterday. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away.
Yeah.
I had my little choreography and like my little dance steps. And that was the start of my career, I would say, because from that day on, my family kind of recognized that I had some talent, and they would always support me from that day on, and I never stopped singing, and that was it. They just had to bear with me.
Okay. Your mom's from Sweden, right?
Mom is Swedish.
So how does a Swedish woman end up in Congo with a Congolese politician? How's that story go?
Well, they met as students in France.
Oh, okay.
They were at the university in Aix-en-Provence, and African charmer, huh? African charm.
Of course.
Put his charm. You put his Denzel charm on her, and was like, hey, convinced her to move with him back to Congo. So that was a serious thing. And today I think she's more Congolese than my dad.
Oh, is it? So she's still in Congo?
She's in Congo. She's the queen of many Congo, because my dad is a tribal chief.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a tribal chief. He's the king of many Congo. And my mom is she's the white queen.
Wow. So let's break that down. So at what point do you then leave from Congo and start studying in Sweden?
Well, I leave Congo. Actually, I escaped from Congo, which was not the best way to leave, because I wish it was in different circumstances. But Civil War, 1998, breaks out. The schools shuts down. Bombs flying across the Congo River. Bullet rains. And my parents, and I was a lucky guy because I had the luck to have a Swedish mother, and which means that I also had a red passport, and that allows me to travel back and to get in a UN flight, a military flight out of the country.
Okay.
So I was a fortunate one, and I will remember this feeling of leaving and just saying to myself as an 11-year-old, why me? What about my friends? What's gonna happen? Because, as you know, at that time it wasn't like today. It wasn't Snapchat or WhatsApp. I couldn't reach out to my boys and be like, "Hey, I hope you're doing good. I hope you're alright."
Yeah, of course.
I would just say, "Man, I hope they're alive." That's it. So I moved to Sweden. Felt like a second chance. Felt like a second life that started, and music was the one thing that actually kept me strong. It was a therapy, a way of expressing myself. And I've always felt the duty of giving something back to Congo, thanking Congo for all these years. And so when the situation kind of calmed down, the first thing we did was to go back to Congo and organize a big festival. Because all throughout these years, I already started in Sweden with my brother. We had a group, and we started to pop in the neighborhood first, and then in the city, and then in the country, touring in Sweden, Scandinavia. So we were like, man, we got to go back to our roots and show them what we're about. So that's what we did.
Okay. So of the 15 kids in your family, how many were able to escape?
Well, four. Four, yeah.
Okay. And during the Civil War, which is to an extent still ongoing, how many friends or family did you lose to the war?
Wow, I think I've lost count, to be honest. Yeah, it's war is war, huh? And it's something you wouldn't wish your worst enemy, because it's so sad. I mean, Africa has already been through so much. And DRC in particular, because it's such a strategic and a rich country. I feel like Africa today is like the guilty secret of humanity. And why I say secret is because until today, we were talking about the perception of how Africa is portrayed around the world. Has nothing to do with who Africa is, what we are, what we stand for. And I think it's time for us to rebrand ourselves and kind of tell the world what is Africa, how is an African.
Exactly. And that's what we're all about. Not to like praise ourselves, but that's why we feel these interviews are so important.
Definitely.
So that we can tell African stories and Africans can have a voice outside of what CNN shows with little impoverished kids with flies all over their faces, because there's more to Africa than just that.
Exactly.
And even besides that, there's so many stories of people that are in that Civil War that aren't being told. And it's important that those stories are shared with people, you know what I mean?
Thank you for helping me sharing my story.
But yeah, that's deep, man. So what is it like when you've been able to escape? You're now in Sweden. You're receiving a decent education, but in the back of your mind, you're like, I've got friends and family that might not make it. What is that process like as a kid? Because you're still very young when you left.
Still very young and not really realizing the consequences this whole all these events would actually lead to. Escaping a lot in music, spending time in the studio, because you come to Sweden, you go to a nice school. I mean, regular school, but for me, being in Africa, growing in Africa, going to Sweden, like, hey, everything is there. You got some amazing opportunities that just in front of you that you can just grab. And in my studio, in the school, they had a music studio that they just built. So quickly, I became kind of the guy, that would spend my life in that studio and even sleep there sometimes. My brother would come.
This is high school, by the way.
Yeah, this is high school.
This is a nice ass high school, man. Damn.
Yeah. So I was really fortunate to have that opportunity to learn how to work in the studio, how to produce my beats, how to record. So today I literally make my own music. This is why this is the experience I have. So I write. This is how you come to write music for guys like Pitbull or Enrique Iglesias or Nicki Minaj, or because I learned quickly how to work in the studio, and what to do.
And you got your 10,000 hours in early.
Oh yeah, I passed those long time ago.
Okay, so let's get to that. So now you're in school, you're immersing yourself into music as you escape. What is the first stuff you were making? What is the first stuff you were recording? Were you just a recording artist? Were you producing as well? Were you writing? What are you doing?
Well, I think that I'm a person that follows my heart and kind of goes with what I like to do. Prioritize what I like to do, which is I think everybody does. So being on stage for me was like okay, I'm a performer. That's what I am. Because when I'm on stage, I can use the three elements that I feel that I kind of master. I can sing, I can dance, and I can improvise. And that defines a true performer, a true entertainer. And so that's why I love to be on stage. In the studio, there's no such thing as just one take, You can actually cheat a little bit. You can do a couple more takes. You can, do some editings and stuff. But the stage is the real deal. So my brother and I, who had this band called Avalon, we were all about just performing. At that time, we weren't really thinking about getting a record deal or stuff like that. We were just about, okay, there's an event, there's a stage, there's 2 mics, we're gonna be there.
Okay. What are you guys performing at these events?
Oh, it could be all the way from high school parties to festivals, and then it became clubs. I was minor in the club, just, shaking my booty, making all these girls go crazy. And we quickly became like the group, the Swedish group that people would love to see on stage.
Okay. What songs were you guys performing in the club? Were you doing your own stuff?
Our own stuff.
Covers?
We would go to the studio. We would record our own stuff. We would get beats from friends, producer friends, and we would sing in English, French, and Swedish, and do the Afro dances.
Okay.
To keep it African all the time. The vision has been always from day one, we're going to blend our African roots into our music.
Okay. So this is like early 2000s now.
Oh, this is early 2000, exactly. So we come back. First time I came to South Africa was for the Cora Awards.
Okay.
That we actually won that year for Best European Act. Ow! Yeah. You see? And 13 years later, I get a Grammy Award in Los Angeles. So it's been a long journey.
Hey, look at the flossing, guys. Can you hear the flossing right now? It's like, I just got a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? I got these writing credits on these Pitbull tracks, fam. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing big things out here. So yes, let's not jump the gun, because we're going to get to that, because a lot of people might not know just how big of a deal you are. As someone who follows the scene and sees what's going on, you hear things like, oh, so the African guy wrote that. Oh, that dude wrote that. Oh, okay. And then in my mind, immediately, I just think of the publishing check. Like, so yes, Avalon's performing. You guys are blowing up. What are you guys making? Pop? Are you making with African music, with African influences? What style are you what style of music are you guys making back then?
Well, we kind of defined ourselves as Afro Vikings.
Afro Vikings.
That's what we were saying. Like we are Afro Vikings. It sounds pretty dope. And it was like, okay. So that's what we're doing. And I think already back at that time, can you imagine that we would call our music Afro pop? And we would say we're doing some pop music with the Afro elements, So we would. I have been doing Afro pop for 16 years.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is you pioneered this genre, and everyone's riding off your coattails.
Oh no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I have been aligned with the vision. And who pioneered what? This is something we will never know. I had this interesting conversation with this lady last night, Sheba from Uganda.
Okay.
And she was showing me some videos, and I was like, hey, you look like the new Beyonce. She was like, oh, nobody will ever top Beyonce. I say, how do you know that? She said, well, she's Beyonce. I said, well, this is because we haven't found her. The new Beyonce doesn't mean she doesn't exist. There is actually somebody out there in the world that probably runs faster than Usain Bolt, but we haven't found him yet. And what I mean by this is no disrespect at all. What I mean by this is that maybe somebody pioneered things, and we never know. The main point here is that we're all united and have the same vision. To bring African music forward, no matter what. Even if I started 16 years ago, I'm still doing it, and I won't stop. And today is a good day to be African. Very exciting day.
Definitely good times. So let's talk about that. So Avalon as the group, do you guys ever get signed or release something, a project of your own, or do you end up going your separate ways?
Well, we started first as an independent. We quickly understood that we need to create a structure, so we actually created our own little label.
Okay.
Printed our own CDs in Latvia.
Wow.
And sold like 500,000 records.
Say what now?
500,000 records.
Independently.
Independently.
Yo, I need to hit you up. So I've got this idea.
Uh-huh.
You know? I just need a loan. And based off what you're telling me right now, it looks like you might have some spare change. You guys went 500,000
We were kids
independently.
who sold a bunch of records in Sweden, in Scandinavia, and in Africa, and we even gave away a lot of records.
Jeez.
We came back to Congo in 2002. No, 2003. Same year we won the Cora, and arranged this big festival I was talking about, right? So next thing, so we're in Sweden. We escaped from the war. We're in Sweden. 5 years later, we're like, okay, we gotta go back to our country and show some love. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So we organized this since we got we sold some records, so we got some some money to spend.
Yeah.
So we organized this festival where we would gather the whole music industry, the few that were left.
Yeah.
Rappers and like local groups in Congo, right? And we do an open air free concert where I think it was like 100,000 people showing up.
Whoa.
So it became a success overnight. Avalon became a successful group in DRC, and I have everything to thank Avalon for the success that I have today.
Wow. So this open air concert, like, you put up all your own money.
We put up our own money.
So did you get brands to like reimburse you? Or?
No, we had some sponsors at the end because they understood, like, okay, these guys are gonna do it with or without us, and they are.
And you guys are teenagers at the time.
Yeah, we are teenagers at the time.
Wow.
This is where the love for the events also started. And so many years later, like 3 years ago, we organized this the Okapi Awards, the first real official Congolese awards, which we also financed on our own because we're not afraid of spending money for the cause.
That's beautiful, man. That's dope. Okay, so now you've had this massive career. Oh no, sorry, this massive milestone rather. You've got the festival. You've sold 500,000, which is basically platinum, if not more. What's the next step for Avalon after that?
Well, the next step for Avalon after that was to try to break in the other African countries. But at the same time, we had school back home in the cold country of Sweden, far away from Africa. And so it was kind of hard to maintain this pace because you can only reach to a certain point independently, especially in 2002, where internet was just popping, and we just learned how to download a song on Napster. It wasn't as easy as it is today. So, and we prioritized our school education. And at some point, I felt like my brother and I sat down one day. He's like, "Listen, we're gonna do like this. You're gonna fly with your own wings from today. We've always talking about you doing your own thing, and I think the time is right. Do you agree?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? I already got a couple songs I've written on the side." He was like, "Ah, okay." So I'm gonna become your manager, he says. But first, you gotta live your dream. What do you want to do today? I was like, I wanna move to Los Angeles. I think that as a proper dreamer, I need to go to the city of dreams. So I moved to Los Angeles 2008 and start my solo career as a songwriter and as an artist.
Okay. And at this point in time, you've completed your degree.
I completed my degree. I had this job at Ericsson. Straight after college, I got this job. And I went to my boss and I said, "Listen, Peter, I kind of lower the average age in this department with like 10 years. So I think I can allow myself to move to Los Angeles and really, really properly try this music thing out once and for all.
Okay.
And see if it's going to take off or not. And I think it was a good choice.
Okay. So you moved to LA. What is it? What is the culture shock like, or what is it like after you land in LA?
Well, watching Entourage at that same period, I kind of, felt like some kind of familiarity, and I blended in pretty fast.
Okay.
Even my accent changed and became more of an Americanized accent. I hooked up with some amazing musicians.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big community of Swedish musicians and songwriters and producers.
Okay.
Because Sweden has always been known as the producer country and the songwriting country.
Yeah.
In pop music mainly. So I hook up with some guys, and then I meet Red One.
Okay. Yeah.
Who just at that point had produced the whole Lady Gaga album,
The first
Lady
one,
Gaga
yeah,
album.
yeah.
And they had this Just Dance, this Poker Face song. It was popping, and he had heard about me from Sweden because he also grew up in Sweden.
Okay. You guys actually, now that you mentioned, you guys got a lot of producers. Max Martin is Swedish as well.
Max Martin is Swedish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I moved actually to LA with this a friend of mine called Ilya and David. David ends up in jail. And Ilya becomes one of Max Martin's protege.
Oh.
So today he's writing all the biggest smashes on the
Wow.
planet. So we're a group of 3 guys who were just burning to do as much music as possible with anybody. you
Yeah.
know? And that's what we did. So I meet with Red One, and he's like, man, he listens to my songs that I had written. I mainly approached him as a songwriter because I knew he was a producer, and I was like, okay, maybe I can pitch some songs. And he's like, I love what you're doing. I love your songs. I think we should work together. But tell me, what happened with the artist thing? You and your brother, like, what up? I told him that. I told him, listen, I'm starting my own thing. I'm starting my solo career. He was like, okay, I think you should work with me as an artist. You should sign to my label that I just opened. This Lady Gaga wave, you have to surf on it because it's going to be huge. And that's what we did. 2 weeks later, Bumpy Ride was born.
Wow.
And Universal took it up, and it became overnight a global sensation.
Okay, so you literally wrote Bumpy Ride after signing with Red One.
After signing with Red One, exactly. After a very, very rough night at the club.
Was that the first song you guys did, or one of the first few?
No, it was one of the first songs. We wrote a couple other songs from the album, Movement album. The first song we wrote was a song called Do Me.
Oh, okay.
Do me right, do me, baby, I'm yours for life. You guys check it out right now. Go on YouTube and look up Mohombi Do Me. Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, it sounds like your life's pretty easy right now. I mean, you just started a group with your brother. You sold 500,000. You did a concert. You won a Cora Award. You moved to LA. You've then got that song was literally was number 1, right? Bumpy Ride ended up.
Oh yeah, in like over. I would say, I don't know, man, 20 countries.
So I
traveled around the world with that song.
Yeah, that song was huge. Like,
I've been everywhere with Bumpy Ride, and it's been a bumpy ride.
At that point, you're like, yo, this music stuff is easy, fam.
Man, actually not. We make it sound easy because this is actually the story, and life is like a map for me. It's about being at the right place at the right time. And if you manage to be open-minded and to actually have the values of respecting other people and to stand for what God stands for, you will see that you will have a lot of you will end up at the right place at the right time. Don't make it complicated. But this doesn't mean that I've had many years of noodles and pasta and like literally as a student in Sweden, like, oh man, what are we gonna eat tonight? Literally. So it hasn't been all easy, but we make it look easy. That's the show business.
Okay. Well, I'm being told that we need to rush, so let's just go through the liner notes here, and then hopefully we'll have a proper interview, a longer interview next time.
Yeah, we can Skype or phoner or.
So you're also a songwriter. Why don't you run down some of your songwriting credits?
Interesting. I'm not afraid of saying it today. I was a ghostwriter on many things. So like, for example, Starship, Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
You can still hear my voice in the background
Oh.
if you listen closely. Yeah. On the Floor, Jennifer Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
It was my idea to actually go to Red One and tell him, listen, you know the Lambada song? It's like, we should take that.
Yeah.
We should do like a Latin version, like a more dance club thing. And next thing you know, he calls me and said, listen, I got J-Lo in the studio. She loves the idea, so let's make it happen. And this is how it all happened. Pitbull, Akon, Enrique Iglesias. I wrote also for this guy, I don't know if you know him, Mohombi.
Not familiar with his work. Not really, eh?
I've been writing with Quincy Jones, Babyface.
Wow.
And I've been writing with this amazing guy sitting next to me. His name is Lumino, a sensational upcoming artist. I think he's, not to brag or not to exaggerate, I think he's the most promising African artist there is. So I'm very happy to be able to be part of his debut. We've done a song together, a video that dropped 2 days ago. It's called Rockonolo. Let me give you a piece of Africa. Hey! You guys look it up right now. Go on YouTube and check out Lumino featuring Mohombi, Rockonolo.
Okay. Before, because we're going to give him a chance to speak, why don't you tell our fans, first of all, where they can find you and what they should expect from you in the coming months?
Well, at this very moment, as I said earlier, it's a very exciting time to be African, and I'm really about bringing that African vibe movement. Keep pushing that African movement around the world. So I'm actually starting this African project. It's going to be an album of filled with a couple of friends, fellow African artists, jumping on, and it's very exciting. We are in the process of recording it right now. First single is dropping in January, featuring Fali Ipupa.
Oh, dope.
You got to start with Congo, repping Congo first.
So are you guys going to have a dance-off in the video?
Well, it's a mid-tempo track, but we're gonna have a battle about this girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's mine. He thinks she's hers, but she's mine.
Okay.
So that's really exciting. And as I mentioned, Lumino, we're working on his project also right now, which is very, very exciting because he's also a producer.
Okay.
Not just a singer. He's producing his own tracks and writing them. So it's very exciting. And besides from that, I'm working also on my solo career, of course, my thing. So I'm sitting with Pitbull for his album. So this is, man, I love to diverse myself musically.
That's great, man. And for those that want to find you on social media, how do they find you?
Yeah, it's Mohombi Music on Instagram, and on Facebook it's Mohombi. It's a very uncommon name, so it's not so difficult to find me.
All right. No, thank you, man. I appreciate it. So, Lumino, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Thank you, guys.
Hello. Yeah, I am Lumino, as well from DRC. Actually, I've been in Cape Town for like 7 years.
Okay.
And, I've been doing music, producing a little bit here and there. I actually produced a track for Cash Time, Kid X. And I also had a chance to co-produce a track with my co-producer, actually, for a sound that we actually sold to DJ Leo Large, but we had Dallas on it. We had JR on it.
Oh, yes, I know that's... Jeez, I'm forgetting that. Break it down. Oh, yeah, that was you.
Yeah.
Nice,
So we've been working on stuff here until, I told myself, okay, it's time for you to, come out as an artist because you got the potential for that as well. And I've been busting some music online until Mohombi, had a listen on it, and then they're like,
How did you link up with Mohombi? Did you hit him up?
It sounds funny, but it's kind of the same story of everybody, By luck, you just put something out there online, and you got listeners until it ends up that you got the right listener, which is Mohombi. And the next thing, I'm hit by a call from my PR, my actual PR, Fonfon. And he's telling me, "Hi man, how you doing and stuff? Yeah, you remember me? We were school colleagues and everything." And he explained to me a little bit of what's going on, And then I had to talk to Mohombi, to Joe, my manager, and everything. And we ended up, deciding to work together. That's why I went back home Right now I'm in Congo. We're working on the project, video, marketing, and everything. And like you said, right now the video actually dropped 2 days ago.
All right.
You just need to go online and find Lumino featuring Mohombi, Rockonolo. It's a banger. It's a gift for the world.
Okay, dope. Just in case our listeners don't know, can you spell Lumino for us so they make sure?
Lumino is like light. It's in Italian. Lumino. Lumino.
Definitely.
No, get it easy.
We'll definitely post it up on the site. Man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate the time. I know you guys got to rush. So I think that's pretty much it. And on that note, guys, keep it locked on Two Broke Twimbos. We'll catch you guys next week.
Okay, really appreciate. One love.
And there you have it, guys. There you have it. That is this week's episode of Two Broke Twimbos. I actually like this format without Dan. I feel like he was holding me back, restricting me, not letting me fly. Now that I'm all alone, I can truly soar like the eagle that I am. Yes, hopefully by this time next week, Dan will be back from wherever he is camping. In fact, guys, let us know, where exactly do people go camping in Zimbabwe? Why do people go camping in Zimbabwe? Is camping not a regular thing? I mean, think about it. If you're Zimbabwean and you're staying in a city, you don't have water, you don't have electricity, there's no transport, the roads are all dirt. That sounds like a campsite to me, fam. Like, you really all have to do is just go to the backyard. So shout out to Zimbabwe for introducing us and keeping us close to nature and the elements. Much appreciated. And on that note, we are out, guys. Once again, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. That's Two Broke Twimbos. Follow our Viber public chat. Don't forget, please, we really appreciate when you guys do this. Comment on the podcast. Whether you're commenting on the website or commenting on iTunes, that feedback is very, very, very important, and it means so much to us. And don't forget, if you want to support Two Broke Twimbos and help us out, you can always send a donation. And we really do need donations now with these bond notes coming in, because we don't know how we're going to pay the bills. To donate at twobroke.twimbos.com. That is donate at twobroke.twimbos.com. Once again, don't forget to follow us and hit us up on Twitter. So that's at Danny That Guy and at Phil Chard. And on that note, I shall bid you guys adieu. I think we'll play out with a song from Lumino, who's one of Mohombi's artists. Just to show support, you know what I'm saying? That's how we do. And we'll see you guys next week. I'm out.
We broke.
Back to the roots.